Hello again, everyone. I just did a live stream review of Daredevil Born Again Part 3. Went and did something, came back, and on my way, I took a walk, and I saw that my Google/YouTube account was disabled again for whatever reason they gave. I was able to get it back, and I just found out I got another backer based on, I believe today, on my pitch. So I wanted to get back and make sure I'm up on here. Looks like I am on both X and YouTube. So I want to review part 4 as well. And guys, there's something about I reviewed part 4 on YouTube in my old way of doing it with the sounds and a bad audio, this and that. But I was looking at the actual book. This is my chance to do it again. And if you're interested to find out what's different between this and that one, I think I'll have more or less the same thoughts. I might have a little more elaboration. Let's see. But this is the issue that I think Mazzucchelli just took off. Just went off and said, okay, this is his 4th issue working with Frank Miller, 4 months in. And it looks like people accuse him of Frank Miller doing layouts and him doing it. No, that's not the case. It's just not the case. He just got better and better. And he went from this to Batman Year One, which was a more consistent work of art. It was like from page 1 to the last page of the entire series, you could tell it was a cohesive, look. He used the same line that he had here. He went from traditional brushwork, as he always did, from issue 214 and on, and then started to clearly bring in some pen and a little more detailed draftsmanship, and then a little more cartooning, a little more exaggeration. And then he went back to more or less a traditional. But this is the issue where he went off, and I remember reading it, and I was like blown away by what he was able to do, the images that he was able to pull. Awesome. Anyway, so let me get it going here. And as I didn't do for part 1, I did for part 2 and 3. I'm going to do it now again, which I'm going to show you the artist edition before I show you the digital version that I'm using to review it with. I think it's the best way to do it. You get 2 pages at once. I'm reading everything. I'm actually reading everything. So here's the, hey Flatty, good evening. This is the Dave Mazzucchelli's Daredevil Born Again, artist edition. I'm just going to show this issue 230 as I showed for the last few. And to show you the little differences here. And he also, guys, in 2007, he must have did a portfolio for someone. He was doing these very different looking, more stylized images of Daredevil, which I love. I think they're great. If you were to say a little more closer to his Batman Year One style, but it's slightly more stylized, I would say. I love it. I would love to see him do this Daredevil, in a series with maybe Frank Miller. I think that would be great. So yeah, each chapter they publish one of these images they did in 2007, and then here's the cover, the very iconic cover of Ben Urich with his cast on his hand that was broken. You have the nun in the corner. I won't say who she is at this moment, if you don't know. And then again, look at the art. Different, very experimental. Look at this, guys. Also, look at this page. It's established that Matt Murdock is a Catholic, and you notice the big cross as the composition on that page. You have the little cross above his head, and then it's the huge cross that's basically framing that little cross with the bed. With here, basically you see this, and this. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And then also you see the stylization of Mazzucchelli's art, where the black is all black on the nuns, no wrinkles, no nothing, and then the white is all white. And also Matt's feet, whether we know that those are socks or his feet, you don't see any detail there, no toes. I guess it's his socks, his white socks. But still, things like that are very different. And look at that layout also. Look at this layout on this page, on this one here. Beautiful, beautiful. So I just want to show that a little, and then I'll get to the actual book here. Look at this also. Very dramatic. And also, again, the azipatone, the heavy blacks on there. It's fantastic. It's so good. So damn good. All right, guys. Let me get moving on this. Hey, Alpha Channel. How are you? All right, guys. So I'm going to go through issue 230, part 4 of what ended up being the Born Again saga, which is, I think, the greatest Daredevil story ever. I don't think that's just my opinion. I think it's a fact. The most consequential, series in the entire run. Everything happens to Matt. Excuse me. This got something. Okay. All right, guys. Let's see. So let's start here. Cover, great cover. Ben Urich, down and out. He just had his hand broken by this a nurse in a hospital where he went to see Nick Manalis, the dirty cop who sold out Matt Murdock to save his son, and his son even died. And then she broke his hand and she put Manalis in the hospital. Excellent, Alpha Channel. Great to hear. Hope you're doing well. And that huge shadow of Daredevil over that desk, over Burek, over the entire story, clearly. The symbol of Daredevil. Okay, so let's just go. Again, I just discussed that. But look, if you notice here, even the finer line work here, that's not brush work there, that's pen work. Different than what Mazzucchelli has been establishing here so far. A little more stylized, great shot, use of shadow there. But even this right here, look at that. More of the stylization. Look at that. It's awesome. And again, here even, that's not brush work. That's you can call it deadline work, whatever, but it looks great still. And this particular issue is called Born Again. M Sandwich, I'm doing well, M Sandwich. Thank you very much, man. Can't wait for Big Man. I can't wait to get it out to you guys. I really can't. And then we'll start a discussion. I'll hear back from you guys what you like, what you may not have liked. I hope you like it all, but we shall see. We shall see, guys. I can't wait to get it out to you. The new and improved version. The superior version, really, is what it'll be. So again, I mentioned before in the original art pages, but this is a little different than he was doing. He was a very representational artist, and he still is here. He still is here. But look at this, guys. The heavy black, like a silhouette, with no wrinkles, no detailed line work, just boom, black. There. The white here, all white wrapped around her. It's awesome. And again, if you notice this, this is, excuse me, let me get this here. Okay, sorry about that. Here. You guys can see the arrow here, can you? And can you see it here as well, or you can't? I hope you can see it in both areas. If you could let me know, I would appreciate it. If you can see it here, and also when I go on my, and here, if you can see it on both, I would appreciate it if you let me know, because I want to know which one to keep on screen as I do this, because I want to point out certain things. But here, you got the cross there, and then you have the huge cross here. The bed is part of the cross there. Matt's part of the cross. It's really, really great. All right, guys. So I wonder again if you can see the arrow here, and then if you can see it here as well. If you could let me know, I would appreciate it, guys. On both on this lady and on this, on both. I hope so, because then I'll know which one to keep on, and I'd rather keep on the actual Comixology / whatever it is, Kindle now. Again, I got this book on hardcover and large edition, smaller, and so on. But I think this is the best way to show it for a review. Excellent. Okay, on the side it vanishes. Yeah, on the side, but you can still see it here. Mikey Getz, how's it going? What up, Bosch? Born Again is my favorite comic ever. Add a signature tier to your campaign. I guess I should. On the comic is good. On the side, it vanishes me. Alpha Channel. Okay. I guess I can do that, Mikey Gets. Um, I always did that before, whether they pay for it or not. But I guess, you know, the more I make, I guess it would be better maybe to give that option. And Mikey, if you could let me know how much you pay for that anyway, usually for some of the kings, if they charge for that, and if they do, how much? Because for them, it might get a lot if they can do a lot of books like that. But right now, I'm at 227. I just got a backer today also, early morning and today. Every day I keep adding backers, which I love. It's about to hit. I'm a few more backers away from hitting 15,000. I'm very pleased with that, guys. I know, people expect more and want more, and I always want more, but I'm good. It's a steady pace, 20 something days, I think 22 days, I believe. I want more. I want it to double it, triple it, but we'll see. We will see. I'm going to keep it on for a bit, maybe a couple of months, and then I'll see what I can do. All right, guys, let me keep going. And look at this layout. Look at this page layout, guys. It's fantastic. Look at this. Matt Mescali really put in the work here. Look at this. Beautiful. Beautiful on this side. Flip it on the other side. And Miller's going off here also. Let me just read quick. Okay, let me, because I've been reading everything. And if you can see my arrow here, I would appreciate it. Let me know. Sorry, guys. I won't. It might show on both. Okay, Lady wants not sure offhand, but I think 10 to 25 is a norm. But I could be wrong for an autograph on Indiegogo campaigns. I'm doing the Fund My Comic campaign. $10 to $25 additional for autograph? That's a lot. I don't know. If anything, I'd do 10. I don't think it's worth that. And anyway, I just initial it, BF. That's what I do. I hope that's okay with everyone. If I do that, it's just to let you guys know that I signed your particular comic. No heartbeat. He is gone. That's Matt's heartbeats flatlined. No, he can't die. And then this is Matt's. I had an awful dream. Everybody hated me. Everybody took everything away from me. No, the Kingpin. He's the only one. The Kingpin of crime. He found out my secret identity, and it wasn't a dream. Then Santa Claus stabbed me with a knife, and no, it was Turk, small-time hood. He was just dressed like Santa. Small-time hood works for the Kingpin. Not a dream. He's alive. Praise God, he's alive. Mikey says, I have Table for One graphic novel signed in 2007, one, and Pigman 1 2. 2007, wow. It's amazing how long it's been out there. It's been out there for 21 years. Incredible, guys. 10 to $25 more for a signature. Huh. I would say 10. I can't see charging more. I think some of the Kings, if they do a lot of those, maybe that's why they want to do it, to save the hassle. But, $10 is totally fine. I guess I will add that. And I guess I add that on like a reward tier. Just say signed copies and then put that for 35 instead of 25. I can do that. And then you guys pick which cover. Let me know. I guess you guys, when you pay for it, you can put a note there. I got this cover after the fact if you already ordered. I guess I can do that. But yeah, let me get back here. So this is Karen with a guy who is bringing her to America, who is a fan of hers from her pornographic movies. The breeze is cool. She's in America. Karen Page allows herself to hope. Not too often, she whispers the name, quietly, facing away from her companion, the name that means hope. Matt. Matt. She betrayed him. Sold his deepest secret for a fix. For a fix. Told a man that Matt is Daredevil, and the man told other men, and the other men are trying to kill Karen Page. But she'll make it to New York. She'll find Matt before the killers find her. Matt will save her. He has to. God damn it. What a mess she is. She sold out her old love for a goddamn fix, and now is going to New York to help ask him to save her. Jesus Christ. And then you got the Kingpin and his inner monologue to some extent, even though it's Frank Miller talking. It's a strange thing here. He alludes to it being in their mind, but then his. Too often he thinks the name Murdoch. He is the Kingpin. He is the Lord of crime. He destroyed Matt Murdock, robbed him of his career, his home, of everything that constituted his life. But Murdoch is alive somewhere. Murdoch is alive. And then you got Foggy, who's been getting inundated with job offers. M Sandwich says, "Are you going to go over Give Me Liberty?" I'm not sure about that. I liked some. I didn't like some. I didn't like the ending and so on. I've read the entire series. I'm not sure. And I resented the fact that he used the plot theme of Atlas Shrugged for one of those series. I gotta say, I did, and he didn't mention it. He let Dave Gibbons mention it in a forward to it. You know, I don't know. I got it. I got the entire, the full story of Martha Washington, but I don't think so. M Sandwich. If there's interest, we'll see. For right now, The Dark Knight Returns, which I actually went through recently, Batman Year One, and some others. Even Watchmen. I'll do Watchmen. There's nothing there that's good, but I might be focused on a few issues. I might be focused on like the Rorschach issues, and then maybe skim over some of the other stuff because Rorschach's he's the hero of the story. Alpha Channel says, "I hope they don't do that to Deborah Wall, but they will. I don't know if they will. We'll see, Alpha. We will see." She showed up in the first episode. I think maybe the second one also. And she's gone for now. Heather Glenn makes her appearance in this new series. That's interesting. But she's different, very, very different than her comics namesake. Very different. So here is Foggy Nelson signing a contract for this new job offer. He got inundated with job offers after him and Matt Murdock, after their firm broke down. He took the job, knew you would. He goes, "Funny, my hand shook when I signed. Guess it was the salary. Honestly, Gloria, I didn't believe they'd pay me so much until I saw it written down. Sure, and you deserve it, Foggy. It's twice what Matt and me ever made together. Matt, how long's he been missing now? 11 days and 6 hours." M Sandwich says, "Sorry to be a broken record. What about the Man Without Fear?" Absolutely. No doubt about it. 100% M Sandwich. Absolutely. Secret Wars, some of maybe the Galactus and the introduction of Galactus with the Silver Surfer in the FF, that 2-issue, 3-issue storyline. Some of John Byrne's stuff, the X-Men, the Dark Phoenix saga, absolutely. Man Without Fear, 100%. 100%. It's not a broken record. I love that series. Mikey Getz says, "Matt Murdock. Who's going to talk about Matt Murdock? Is my favorite panel of all time." Okay, if you say that, I got to show this off then. Let me show you, Mikey. It's so damn good. Look at this. Again, this is the beautiful Dave Mazzucchelli Daredevil Born Again Artist Edition. This was a cover that he did for Marvel Age. Marvel Age? I think it was Marvel Age. And it's so funny. I forgot about this. It's Brill. I was holding it earlier today, and I felt it. I said, "Holy shit, yeah, that's the Brill in there." How cool is that, guys? What a nice extra edition. What thought and care. It's brilliant. So let me show you guys, and Mikey especially. Look at this. Matt Murdock. Who's going to talk about Matt Murdock? Look at that. It's awesome. Mazzucchelli ribbed himself in the introduction here a little, where he said something along the lines of he was drawing Daredevil's head a little too small. And I get it, but it made him look, I think it made him look just bigger. Something about that, right? Smaller head, it doesn't look as shortened. Okay, so this is the after. Yeah, it's awesome. Alpha Channel. I love that. I got these great books, man. I got Batman Year One, Artist Edition, Amazing Spider-Man, the comic strip from John Romita Sr., Dark Knight Returns, Sin City, the first one, Bravo for Adventure, Toth. It is Killer for 81. It's beautiful, a beautiful. I just, it's everlasting. Also, I mean, I'll have it for the rest of my days. I handle it well. Just pop it open every so often. I'm gonna read it through also. I may have done it before. I know I read the introduction and looked through it, but I want to read it in this form, in this black and white form. He did a lot more. He did a lot more than I thought he did because a lot of first of all, I guess the zipatone stuff, but also the shading. He did a lot of that in here. And he penciled and inked every single issue here. Love that. Love it. The consistency also. Again, he used different tools, a lot like in this one. This is different than the last issue, and it'll be different than the next one. Like things like this, guys. Look at this. Boom, 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 boom. That's very different. Very different Kelly going on here. Different line work. It's welcome though. I mean, look at this even. It's interesting. You know, beautiful stuff. The zipatone there, even there. Overhead shot of Ben Urich, who had his hand broken by one of the Kingpin's employees who was disguised as a nurse at the hospital, and Nick Manalis, the cop who basically sold out to save his boy, sold out Matt Murdock, and his boy died, and she broke him. She broke him, broke his legs and arms, and he is. So here's the narration from. That's a lie, Mikey. It's a flat out lie, and Kelly has addressed that on occasions, and not in a defensive way. He understands why people may have said that, but this is just an artist coming into his own. That's really what it is. He had been drawing Daredevil, I think, for 2 years, for sure 2 years, if not 2 years, a little over 2 years. And he got an opportunity because he was inspired by the Miller Daredevil. He gave samples to Marvel of Daredevil. He gave samples to DC of Batman. He wanted to do both characters, and he was inspired by the Miller's first run on Daredevil. So then imagine that, guys. Imagine that you're a budding artist. You get inspired by this incredible run that Frank Miller had on Daredevil. Then you get a chance to actually draw the series, and then Frank Miller comes back with the greatest story he ever told. I think you'd be excited. I think you'd want to step up, and that's what he did here. Clearly, the best work of his career at Marvel, hands down. These 7 issues, period. Whatever he did before, it was all in setup on this because this is the greatest work I think he did for Marvel, and then he did Batman Year One, and then he went on and did his self-published stuff, and then Asterios Polyp and all the other stuff they did. But this is the best work, mainstream work he did. This and then Batman Year One. Again, between the two, hey man, I'll go back and forth and just love them both. And I'll say that is more consistent from issue 1 to 4. Is again from panel 1 to the last panel, it's the same artist with the same line work, same design that he decided to draw in. This one is a revolution here. This issue is very different than the last issue, and very different from the first one, and very different from the last one. The last one that will come, issue 7 in this series. And again, it's little things like this. Look at this. So he was using brushwork, a very traditionalist looking art, like a more, how would I call it? Like a Romita style, but a little more realistic. Wally Wood, Romita, but more realistic. His version of Daredevil. Very representational. Realistic. Here, he starts to get a little more stylized. It's really, really good. I love it. So here's, yeah, that's just not true, Mikey. And Kelly has addressed that. I think he got so much of it that at one point he goes, I'm going to nip that in the bud because he was really experimenting. And I think Miller inspired this, clearly. I mean, again, Miller inspired him to even go to send those pages to Marvel to try to get a job at Marvel, Daredevil pages. And then he gets a shot. Again, Frank Miller comes back and he's on there. He's like, whoa, okay. I remember Frank Miller was good. And it's like, holy shit, he's even better than he was as a writer. I think he stepped up. So here's Ben Urich. Oh, man, yeah. M Sandwich. That is so good. I love how Matt Kelly shows how awesome the Avengers are in just 3 panels. And Miller's writing also, come on. With a voice that can command a god and does. I mean, come on. Come on. You read that and you're like, wow. The concision, the impact, the power in that, and also the respect factor. Thor's like a god, right? He's a thunder god, but he respects the hell out of this relative man. I mean, Captain America, even though he's a super soldier, compared to him, he's immortal, and he respects it big time. I love it. So here's Ben Urich, who was told, every time you say the name, you're gonna get hurt. Maybe your other hand's gonna be broken, and so on and so on. Never say the name Matt Murdock again. That's the idea. Mikey says, yeah, I don't believe that at all. I'd be intimidated like I am sure Jeremy Jr. was with Men Without Hair, for sure. No doubt. Because they were, Mazzucchelli was walking in the footsteps because Miller was, he established himself as a writer-artist. And then he just came back as an artist. And these guys thought, I got to step it up. And he did. Romita did as well. And Romita says, to this day, he's asked about his greatest work. He goes back to Man Without Fear. I love that. And also like, okay, John, but come on, it's been 30 years, over 30 years. Come on. Stop just penciling. Pencil and ink. I don't know. Have a little more initiative. Go out there. Stop drawing these shit comics, mainstream stuff that's going on today that are completely forgettable. His recent run on Spider-Man. Come and go. That's all it is. It's not everlasting. This is everlasting. This is the comic book medium at its greatest. This is it. And we're witnessing it, and this is 40 years ago now. It's a tragic thing that we have to look back that long to say, Daredevil Born Again, Dark Knight Returns, Watchmen, Batman Year One. Because people read those. Okay, what do I read next? You're like, and then you think X-Men, Dark Knight, Dark Phoenix Saga, Kirby, Ditko, Spider-Man, and then from there, and then then you're struggling a little. Simonson, Thor, graphic novels, certain things. Will Eisner, but then you're like, oh shit, I'm pretty much fresh out. Roger Stern, John Romita Jr. Their run on Amazing Spider-Man, I love it. And then look, man, there's a lot of stuff out there, but I'm talking about mainstream stuff. Then you got Comicsgate. I'm talking about mainstream stuff. This is the best of the best here. Again, sorry guys. I appreciate the give and take though, guys. Thank you very much. I'm going to keep going here. Here's Ben Urich. I don't even think of his name. He doesn't exist. They convinced me of that. I went looking for him about Matt Murdock. Talked to a crooked cop who helped frame him. They sicked a nurse the size of your average truck on us. She broke most of the bones in the cop's body. Me? She went light on. Settle for breaking my fingers. My name is Ben Urich. I'm a reporter. I don't even think his name. Yeah, he's been beaten. And then look at this image also, guys. Look at these incredible static images here. Almost photorealistic there. Look at this also. That little break of a line there. Mazzucchelli, boom, boom, boom. Bold line wrapped around him. A bold line. Where here, you got this. You got these thin lines here. And it all changes here. Breaks the panel. Damn good, man. Damn good. Bold as hell. Look at this also, guys. Looks authentic as hell. That's how people would be looking in the winter. The guy's pant leg. Look at that. Boom, 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 boom. Beautiful. This shot, overhead shot. Look at that. In shadow. Sweat. Squared off knees. Awesome. So here's Matt. Well, now this is a direct narration from his mind. Oh man, Mikey. Mark Waid's Daredevil. Don't remind me. Pathetic. Pathetic. M. Sandwich says Stern's Avengers run is great. It is great. And the Masters of Evil, that particular story, holy shit. That's one of the finest Avengers stories, period. I have the collection on that. Love it. I can do a review of that as well, with Hercules and what they do to him in there, and then Cap's response after all is settled. I mean, Great stuff. And Jarvis, what happens to him? Holy shit. It's great. It's a heavy duty story. Well done. You know, Roger Stern, John Buscema, Tom Palmer. So here's Matt in his mind. When I was a whole lot younger, I was struck across the eyes and blinded by a piece of radioactive garbage. Don't ask me to explain why, but I can smell and hear and taste better than anybody. That's all there is to learn about Matt Murdock. Everything else in my life is gone, except the lesson I learned from my father. Never give up. Never. And then you have Karen at Penn Station with the guy, Paulo, I think, who brought her to America to be saved by Matt, the man she betrayed, who got in trouble, who she got in trouble to begin with. What a mess. So here's Miller's narration. For most people, it's somewhat in her head, but not exactly. For most people, New York is the Empire State Building and the Statue of Liberty. For Karen Page, it's Penn Station, where she first stepped off the train from New England. That must be why she asked Paulo, to drop her off here. She paid her way exactly the way he wanted her to. She owes him nothing. He told her, I'm a fan of your movies, porno movies. Yeah. She wants to get rid of him. Sure, he's got the junk as much as she wants, but there is only one man she wants to be with now. She'll even quit the junk she swears she will. So she says goodbye to Paulo with a kiss as final payment. It's a long kind of kiss, the kind she learned making movies for people like Paulo. She's a pro about it. It isn't enough for him. Brilliant. It's a foreboding line to say, okay, he's still going to be trouble. He's not one and done. He wants more. And then you have Kingpin, who's been on an exercising warpath after he found out that Matt Murdock survived his murder attempt. He's been working out and fighting, and he goes, locate Nuke, Wesley. He goes, Nuke? Boss, you are not serious. Please tell me you are not serious. Nobody's ever used him on a domestic job. I did not invite debate. And then you got this awesome overhead shot of this apartment building. No, you don't know, Ben. You just don't. Look at you. They broke your fingers, honey. Look at this shot, guys. Look at this also. He could have done it with hand or some kind of, I don't know. Look at her face. Look at his face. Look at the difference in the style that he used here. Straight line, bump, 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 cartoony. Look at those zigzags. And it works. Even the panel's broken. It's starting to break to show his inner break. They'll kill you. They'll kill you. Do you know that? They'll kill you and you'll die for it. He goes, don't say the name. Don't even think the name. Don't even think of the name. It's so very important that we don't even think of the name. They got him in check. Look at these shots also, guys. Clearly he used some kind of reference here, but it looks awesome. He still brought some illustration to it, a little cartooning to it. On one level, you could say, well, he just traced that. I don't know. Maybe. Looks like he may have, but he's such a great artist that it's like, all right, in this monthly way, it's like, give the man a break. Yeah, M.M. Sandwich, love how the bold lines really show off the Kingpin's rage. Yeah, it's awesome. It's just a great choice. It looked like you used a thick marker for that one. Excuse me. So here's Matt. They've done some work on me. The broken rib is back where it belongs. I'm not bleeding. I'm one big bruise. Best not pay attention to how I feel. The more I focus outside myself, that stench. Even his sweat smells like cheap wine. I can taste his hangover with him. Can't stand it. Move further out. Sounds are muffled by the snow. The gulls, they only sound like that in the morning, complaining. Caw, caw. And then boom, honk. Like the whole city's complaining. He was a real whiny in this, man. It's hilarious. He's not in his right mind. He's not the Matt Murdock of old. Like the whole city's complaining. I'm still Manhattan, narrow it down. Even past Brother Gallo next to me, I can smell the neighborhood. Rats and concrete dust. Hell's Kitchen, I grew up here. But what kind of place am I in? bong, bong, bong. He goes, whoa. Church bells. I'm in a church. Must be in the basement. A mission. Just me and the winos. Got to get away from these smells. Okay, who took the muscles out of my legs? It's awesome. That's great drawing also. He falls flat on his ass. You idiot. Great look. My name is Maggie. You're staying here. Look at this also, this overhead shot here. It's really, really good. Rock solid drawing. That gun looks excellent. That bottle looks awesome with the outlines around it. Even those pills, everything about this. And then you got the rough lines here. Beautiful. Everything looks authentic. And then Foggy's office, look at that. Awesome. Or apartment. So here's Karen. Hello, I'm calling for for Franklin Nelson. Mrs. Nelson. I'm sorry. It's just I had no idea he'd gotten married. You see, I used to be his secretary, Mrs. Nelson, his and Matt Murdoch's. Could I please speak to Foggy? He doesn't live there, but you said separated. Oh, I'm sorry. I need do you have a number where I can reach him? Yes. Oh, thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Awesome. Again, awesome acting from Maz Kelly. And then you got Foggy. Karen. Karen Page? Golly, you're the last person I expect to hear from. How's it going? Matt? Well, Matt's come on hard times, Karen. It's a long story. No, I'm sorry. I don't know where he is. Love to see you, Karen. How long are you in town? You mean right now? Gee, Karen, I'm kind of tied up. Well, sure. If it's important, where? Boy, that's a rough part of town. Are you sure? Sure, Karen. For old time's sake, like you say. He goes, old times. Jeez, it wasn't so long ago. The Daily Bugle, great shot of it. And then you got this conversation between Ben Urich and J. Jonah Jameson. And again, this is J. Jonah Jameson written by Frank Miller in a way where it sounds a lot more like Gail Wyman from the New York Banner in the Fountainhead novel. But that's fine because we know him to be a petty guy. Here he sounds like a rational, good, rock solid, honest reporter. That's not him, but I'll take it. I'll take it in this story. It's the same universe clearly, but still drawn beautifully. Excellent anatomy, excellent attitude here. Hunched over the desk, looking down on Urich, who's down and out. Look at this also, guys. Not a lot of artists would do this. They'll be worried about, I guess, jacking it up. But look at that. Brilliant. So, and this is J. Jonah Jameson. Urich doesn't say a word here. This is all J. Jonah Jameson, who can talk. I've seen this happen plenty of times, Ben. It never fails to make me sick. Reporter gets his blood up for a story, threatens to quit if I don't let him go for it, then suddenly loses all interest. By the way, how's the hand? Listen, Urich. There are things you just don't let happen in this racket. Number one is you never get scared away from a story. Not while you've got the most powerful weapon in the world on your side. This is 5 million readers worth of power. It can depose mayors, it can destroy presidents. And it's been due to get aimed at the kingpin for years now, but it needs you to do it. Urich is just silent. He's like, you're lucky I don't fire you. Get out of my office. And when he walks out the office, you got this janitor saying, that's a good boy, Urich. You stay a good boy. You remember the kingpin's watching. You remember you got 5 more fingers. Awesome. Awesome art, awesome storytelling, writing from Miller. Check this out also, guys. Just that body language. It's legit. It is rock solid. And look at that. Look at that. Look at her face right there. It's really, really good. Give me 1 second, guys. I was about to see something here. I guess, yeah, look at her face there. Look at those eyes. Just 2 dots there for the nose. It's really good. She's with me when the fever hits. This is Matt talking. She's with me when the fever hits. I'm bowling alive. But for the cool, soft cloth hanging from her neck, it's a cross made of gold. Could be that same person who was there when he was a little boy after the accident. And here's Paulo running out on me. Just seeing a friend. Thwack! You go see your friend, but you come back or I'll find you, Karen Page. You're mine now. And then you have the hustle and bustle of the offices of the Daily Bugle. Little dots on the ground, paper. It's a lot of action here, a lot going on. And you got this funny dialogue. No, Morton, I will not show this garbage to Jameson. You will go out and take some pictures we can use. But too mild, he says. Punch it up, he says. Just a puff piece. Simple, stupid puff piece, and you take 3 hours on the first paragraph? What's the problem, Ben? Robbie Robertson. And Ben Urick's like, just a minute. The deadline for the morning edition is always a good time at the Daily Bugle, at the New York Daily Bugle. I get a phone call. So this guy is like, I'll tell you the problem. An ex-president does carpentry work at a welfare project and says all the usual stuff. Not your major league literary challenge. But Urick here can't get it written. And Robertson's like, who put our top crime reporter on a piece like that? Ben says, could you speak up? I can't hear. And then the lady's like, copy boy. And then there's a shot of the hospital with Nick Manalis, the dirty cop. He goes, is Lieutenant Manalis, Mr. Urick? I've been able to talk for a couple of days now, but you haven't called. I'm ready to give with my story. He's finally ready to give. And the guy's like, the Daily Bugle, I guess, editor. Mr. Urick is off the crime beat. Mr. Urick was kind enough to tell us this. Mr. Urick requested a puff piece. I gave Mr. Urick a puff piece. Mr. Urick has taken 3 hours on the first. And Robbie says, I think you'd better get off the phone, Ben. And Ben Urick's like, I'm sorry, Lieutenant, I'm busy. And Lay's like, where's that copy boy? And then here's Manalis talking. He goes, I don't think you heard me, Mr. Urick. I want to tell you how I helped the kingpin frame Matt Murdock. And then you see the shadow at the door. We know who it is. Mikey writes, I remember being sad reading all these stories about my comic girlfriend Spidey killed. Gwen, Jean Grey died, and Karen turned into a junkie, lol. Yeah, it's pretty tragic, man. I mean, it really is. That's Marvel for you. Try to dip into that real world, whereas DC, I don't think they got into there. I guess they started getting there with Bodies in Fridges, if that was like a website with Gail Simone, who bitched about it to the point where she got a job over it. That's the idea, right, guys? I don't remember reading that issue, but it was Kyle Rayner. I think a bad guy took his girlfriend, I guess, chopped her up, put her in his fridge. And I forgot who wrote that. Was it Ron Mars? That goddamn commie. Anyway, so this guy's like, so now he's deaf. Aces. We're 3 minutes from a 6-inch blank space on page 5, and Mr. Urick goes deaf. Jameson's going to fry my... And even this, guys, even this. The style he's choosing here, that's a sweater. Has no wrinkles whatsoever. You would say, well, it wouldn't have that. I don't know. Probably would. But I love it. I love the way it looks. Even this, the side of that bed. Look at that. The line work. And he repeated basically the same drone except for that. It's brilliant. You don't need to redo it. Even in those days. Robbie says, settle down, Lichtenstein. You had better get off the phone, Ben. Ben says, I don't know anybody by that name, Lieutenant Matt Murdock. And then the lady says, copy boy die or what? And Manalis is like, oh, I get it. Oh, no. Here she comes. That giant nurse. Kingpin's employee. His hired thug. And then you have Lichtenstein telling him, your work's been useless lately. Do you know that? His last piece wouldn't have made the Inquirer. Finch had to rewrite it from scratch, but at least there were words on the paper. Get off the phone, Ben, Robbie says. And Urick says, Lieutenant? You're dead, copy boy. Love this. And then here's that kingpin-sized nurse. She says, "My employer would like you to hear this, Mr. Yurick. Look at this. 2 minutes, 2 minutes, I am dead, I am cold, I am buried. Out of here, Morton. We got a newspaper to put out. $100 and I can make my rent. Finch, where's Finch?" And look at that. It's a great shot. Yeah, the phone, drop the phone, a little spit comes out. Dead, dead, dead. Go home, Morton. $50. Monday you'll have shots you want to frame. Robbie says, "Finch, I need this in 2 minutes. Hostage stories breaking wide open, Robbie. Got quotes from the terrorists that'll set page one on fire. We'll scoop the Post. Give it to Jansen, please." That's not by accident. Jansen, probably to his old colleague, Miller. But look at this shot, guys. Look at that. Look at that expression. Look at this. Look at the color. Chrissy Shield started to kick in. Went from skin cone to pink, and not just his face, but his entire shirt, his hand, everything there to bring him. He is not there. He's listening to Manellis being murdered in his ear. That's a great shot, by the way. Look at that. He goes here from diagonal lines. Yeah, sorry. From horizontal lines to vertical lines. Just a little change. Goes from, that to that. His eyes are bugging out there, getting bigger and bigger. It works. Definitely cartoony, definitely exaggerated, but it works. Watch where you're going, Morton. You watch. Robbie says, "I really appreciate this, Finch. Remember, 2 minutes. I want you in my office, Ben. Now." Jansen, thank you for listening, Mr. Yurick. She did something good. She was like, great lighting here. Boom, coming that way. These bold lines of black there. The silhouette here is fantastic. What a great pages here, man. He really, really kicked ass, Kelly. All right, guys, let me... So Matt's here. He goes, "When I first got my powers, I lived through a night of utter agony. My senses were wild. Everything hurt me. Every sound and smell. A woman came to me with words of hope. She never told me who she was. She wore a gold cross. I touched it. My fingers never forgot it. It's this cross. This cross." Even here, check out what Mazzucchelli's doing. Even a few issues before, he would have made these nice little brushed, wrinkles on his knuckles. And here he is with a thin line there. Very different, but it works. And then you got, "Who could love me so much?" This is Matt thinking. "Who could love me so much and stay away so long? Who are you, Maggie?" And then the fellow nun says, "Still the fever climbs, sister." Maggie's like, "It will break. It will." Saying, she sounds confident, maybe desperate, but confident. And then you have Foggy. This is great cartooning there, guys. It's representational, but a little more stylized, a little more cartoony. Great expression. You look good, Karen. How are things? I mean, then you got this shot. It's a great shot. And a very rough sitting back. It looks like he did it with ballpoint pen almost, but it works. And then Kingpin's thinking, "Nuke is in Nicaragua. It has taken days to find this out. Days of reaching further and further out to the branches of the organization, the legitimate corporations, the military offices, feeding the vices of respectable businessmen, even a general. A general in my pocket." The thought dances briefly through the Kingpin's mind. That is a branch to be nurtured. It will take days more to enlist Nuke. The man's willfulness must be overcome, as must his self-deception of patriotism. These days must not be wasted. Murdoch must be drawn out of hiding, perhaps a threat to his loved ones, too obvious. But to take that small shred of himself that he still owns, to flail him with it. The crime lord summons a man who specializes in psychotics and always offers an excellent selection. And then, guys, that was like a cold blue before, now it's a red hot. It's as if it's still happening in Yurick's mind. And there's no break between the panels. If you notice, it's right there into his head. I don't know. I mean, that's not by accident. To me, it's not. He always, makes his panels like the gutters between them. Here, he makes this blood red. It was cold blue before. If you remember, guys, here, cold blue, blood red here, right in his head. And look at that drawing there. Look at his shoulders, as narrow as can be. Look at that sharp line, squared off nose. It's fantastic. Great cartooning. So good. And Robbie says, I've spoken with your doctor, Ben. He says that bandage was supposed to come off yesterday. I want you to take a few days off. This is the number of a psychiatrist. And Yorick says, I swear it took forever. Forever. And there's Foggy. No, I mean it. You look great. And Yorick, again, blood red where it was once cold blue. Here's that image. I guess they don't show it there. That's a new shot. Whoa, okay. That's a new image in his mind. Great. Nick gurgled like a clogged drain. Somewhere in the middle of it, he caught a single raspy breath. Look at this, guys. Again, the no cut there that goes right into his head. There's no separation between that panel and this panel of Yorick. And look at the cartooning again, guys. Look at that. Rock solid. And he's not even drawing in the little indentations on the cast. It's just pure white. It's a great shot. Great shot. And these are overlapped. It's like, cards on a page just overlapped. I love that. No smoking in the elevator, man. Yorick says one breath, and it was so very desperate. One breath, and it was so very desperate. And then Matt is more or less dying. I mean, he's in real trouble. In real trouble. Temperature must be around 103 now. That's what you get for swimming in the East River, sleeping in the street. Pneumonia. Stupid way to die. Look at also that fine, fine line work right there for his beard. It's really nicely done. Awesome. And then look at this, guys. And let me show you this. Look at that drawing there, okay? And I will show you what he did, because you can see the white out. He whited one part of it out. That's what he started doing later on in Batman Year One as well, where he drew all the detail on Batman's leg on that one promotional page. And then you look at it, and you saw that he whited it out. It's like, whoa, okay, he's going for a real simple look. So I'm going to just show you guys. Look at that panel right there, okay? And then I'll show you what Mazzucchelli was thinking in the original art. Here he is. You see it underneath? You see that he had put more line work there, and he whited it out. There was more detail in there, and he whited it out. He was going for a more simple look. I love seeing those little things on this original art. Those little things are beautiful. That's what makes having these things worth it. Those little touches. So yeah, he had a thicker line here. He had a line there, a line there. He had more detail instead. He said, let me simplify it, stylize it, and make this a concerned, shocked look in one. And it works beautifully. The flat brows, the wide eyes, open mouth, the hunched shoulder. And look at that. And the texture. Karen, before this, he was saying, you look good. Hope you're doing well. And then he says, Karen, what happened? She's like, I thought you'd never ask. Well, and then he sees this. And if you notice here, guys, a little difference here. It looks like the same drawing, but it's not. Nick is trying to get at her face, and she pulls his arm the other way, so he couldn't quite grab it, couldn't quite defend himself, and she's smiling there. And Yorick says, and finally, the rattle. It took forever, too. He says it took forever, too. Oops. Let me keep it here. I'm thinking, guys, this is going to pick it up here. I think that's the only way I can do it from now on. Because I've been pointing at things, and I don't think it's been coming through, unfortunately, and I apologize. It took forever too. So here's Yorick walking through the city filled with snow. It looks really authentic. Look at this. It looks like a street would look. And Karen says, overhead shadow. I suppose you know about. No, you wouldn't have seen my movies. She knows Foggy's a decent guy. Let's just say that I've messed up my life about as badly as I could. Let's just. I'm a junkie and I've got to find Matt or I'll be murdered. She spits out the truth. And Foggy with that look. Great acting again by Kelly. And Foggy asks, what happened to your mouth, Karen? She says, that's Paulo. The man I'm with. He's pretty awful. And Foggy has this very masculine reaction. You know, we see Foggy as a chubby guy, a little foolish at times, but he's like to get my hands on that rat. He's a good guy. She goes, just don't, Foggy. I just need to know where Matt is. I can't tell you why, but he's the only man who can save me. He got this interesting look on Foggy's face. Because Matt's disappeared, Karen. A lot has happened. Our law firm went out of business. Matt's been acting crazy for some time now. Then he was charged with criminal misconduct. She's like, no, not Matt, no. And Foggy says, it was a frame by gangsters, I think. We did our best to fight it, but we lost. Matt was disbarred from practicing law. Then his house blew up and Matt vanished. She's like, oh no. Oh, Foggy, it's all my fault. This is a great line. Tell me what you mean by that, Karen. It's a great look, half his face a shadow, and it's a great line. Tell me what you mean by that, Karen. Awesome. Because at that point, he's like, what am I dealing with here? What has she been up to? What is going on here? But nonetheless, he still considers her a family, as he puts it here. She's like, nothing, just talking like a junkie. It doesn't mean anything. Look, I better go. Back to the guy who punched you? No. You're coming home with me, Karen. No, Foggy. You're sweet, but no. Paulo, he'll kill you. He'll kill both of us. I won't take no for an answer, Karen. You and me, we're family. Matt's family. That's beautiful. Karen starts to tear up. She hasn't been dealt with in a kind way probably in a long time. She knows Foggy's a good guy, too. It's a great shot, by the way. Just great shot. Great work. Even this right here, the ink blotches, beautiful. And Matt's still the structure is there. Matt's Kelly, and look at this little boom. That's awesome. A little triangle there. Beautiful. And this is Maggie. The fever grows in him. No earthly force can stop it. He has lost too much blood. His body cannot fight. He will die. But he has so very much to do, my lord. His soul is troubled. But it is a good man's soul, my lord. He needs only to be shown your way. Then he will rise as your own and bring light to the poisoned city. He will be as a spear of lightning in your hand, my lord. If I am to be punished for past sins, so be it. If I am to be cast into hell, so be it. But spare him. So many need him. Hear my plea. Here's another shot of that one, different color, blood red. I thank you for listening, Mr. York. And again, no separation between these panels. It's right in his head. And here's Ben York on a park bench. He's like, don't even think the, and then he smiles, takes it off and says, Matt Murdock. Love it. And then you got costumes, Melvin Potter, proprietor, I guess. It's the old gladiator who now is a costume maker. Old villain of Daredevil's. And there was one issue, the issue before the Born Again saga began. It was a story about Melvin Powder, and we'll read it at the end as an extra to issue 233. It's not essential, but it's a nice, I guess, a setup, a preamble to Born Again. I wonder if anyone's here paying attention. I don't see any more comments. Maybe I'm here all alone. Well, it looks like numbers okay. If you guys have anything to say, or just paying attention, maybe you're into it as into it as I am. I hope you are. You don't want to get sidetracked. But this is great comics, guys. This is comics at their best. This is why we love comics, and it's very rare to get comics this good. But this is what it can reach. And no matter what, season 3 of Daredevil, they try to do bits and parts of this. The new season is called Born Again. It's fine, and I like the Daredevil stuff. Thanks, Alpha. You're drawn. That's awesome. It's great, man. I'm assuming most of you have read this already, and just to me, it's an all-time classic. So here we go. Downtown. Here's Melvin telling this 3 thugs who come up to his store and say, "I don't like it. I know who you work for, Felix, and the Kingpin is never up to anything good. He's a reformed supervillain. Melvin Powder. He used to be the Gladiator. And Daredevil has helped him over the years as Matt Murdock and as Daredevil. And so the gangsters say, "What is there not to like, Potter? You construct costumes. I'm herewith commissioning from yourself a costume. Said costume being one you are infinitely familiar with. During such time frame as before, you did renunciate your status as a prominent member of the criminal class to open this shop within which we now converse." Absolutely. No apologies, Flady. I was just wondering. Flady says, "Sorry, I'm reading comics while listening, going over the old Marvel Saga series, retelling all the classic moments of the origins of my favorite character." Oh, yeah. I love that. Marvel Saga. I think Ron Friends drew the cover at issue 1, and then different artists drew that. I think that's what it was. It was good. Very good. So listen to the language that these gangsters speak. They have to elevate their language because they're lowlifes. He goes, "Speaking of this most neatly custodiated establishment, we will summarily execute its premature demolition, not to mention the removement of your most valued body parts. Should you perchance fail to render unto us a perfect duplicate of the uniform of a certain man without fear." This reminds me of some Muslims who sent me legal letters. They sent me legal letters, and I published at least one of them in my Peaceful Death Threats books. It was the most elaborate death threat I've ever gotten. It was sent by some, sounded like a Muslim lawyer, and the language they used was very professional, right? Except for the fact that the threat was there, and they said how they put it. You know what? Give me 1 second, guys. I got 4 more issues left, 4 more copies. I think it's in here. It's my first volume. I think, yes. I don't mind interjecting here, guys. I hope you guys don't mind, but here it is. Let me show you. It just reminds me of that. This is my book. Again, guys, I got 4 copies left. That's it. Then it'll be out of print. I collected about 400 death threats. I've got thousands, so there's 400 in this one. I'm out of volume 2 is out of print. So I have 4 more copies of volume 1. And this is where I publish Muhammad cartoons alongside all the death threats that I've gotten, rape threats, death threats, vicious bastards, and I roast them in a number of the responses here in red. I roast these guys. So here's one where I drew myself as Muhammad, and beneath it is the business proposal. "Greetings." Let me just read it. It's, "Greetings. I hope you are well. I have written this email on behalf of a certain organization whose name I unfortunately cannot give. We were formed by a group of individuals wishing to tighten the reins of the media for our profit. We have existed for 17 years of operating across 4 continents, so please do not take this message lightly. A client of ours is unhappy with the content you produce on your social media channels. A client of ours who is unhappy with the content you produce on your social media channels is willing to pay a hefty sum for your silence. I've gotten offers for a ton of money, to the point where they said anything you want. And guys, I know some of you don't believe it. I know people would say, I would take anything. I wouldn't take $1 billion. I wouldn't take anything. Because what you're doing is you're selling your freedom. I don't give a fuck how many they send. I love money, but I love earning it. I want to make as much money as I possibly can make with my soul intact. That way, I've gotten offers from Muslims to just give it up and get rid of it all and try to delete our line, and then we'll pay you everything you want. The only response is fuck you. So I know people who would sell out wouldn't believe that I wouldn't. But that's your problem. And the fact that you would sell out, there's a reason why it's very rare to draw Muhammad and very rare to continue to draw Muhammad no matter how many death threats you get. There's a reason why. But anyway, so they say here, a client of ours who is unhappy with the content you produce on your social media channels is willing to pay a hefty sum for your silence. We are to use any means necessary. However, we prefer to use the cleanest and most profitable method, which is the reason for this email. We are requesting you to take down all social media accounts and websites by September 1st, 2018. This is years ago. 2018 was the worst death threats I've ever gotten. A wave of death threats I've never seen in my whole life, ever. Outrageous. Thousands upon thousands. And believe it or not, I curated the ones in this book and in volume 2, and I still have thousands left to do at least a few more volumes. And these are the best, because the other ones are mind-numbingly boring. So believe it or not, whatever you have here, whatever you see here, even if you're bored by these are the best ones. Tell you something about these savages. And then they say failure to comply will result in more extreme measures being taken. The consequences of such on your person may include, but are not limited to, monetary loss and loss of life or limb. Please not for a second doubt our legitimacy, as it will only delay an inevitable outcome and lead to losses to both us and yourself. We hope you take our request to heart and act without haste. Best regards. Fucking savages. Absolute savages. So above that, I wrote, the below is probably the most elaborate death threat I've ever gotten. Corrupting the language of business. Muslims weaponize everything. This one guy, Ahmed Razas, writes, Bosch Falson, it's a warning to you. Next, we shall drop atom bomb of Holocaust if you don't stop. I said, nuke America if I don't stop cartooning? Cartooning. Madness. I drew Muhammad as Flavor Flav. It's fun stuff, guys. And then I got this article. With all my books here, from Peaceful Death Threats to Islam Bitches to my books with volumes of my Muhammad cartoons, which I have a dozen copies of volume 1 and 2 of my Muhammad cartoons. I add articles that I've written over the years. This one's called Muslim Roulette. It's about the game that we're playing, bringing in masses of Muslims in this, in the West, and knowing 100%, without a doubt, that there among them will be jihadists who are out to murder us. Our government can live with that because they're savages. Our politicians are savages. They can live with the fact that they know they bring in massive Muslims. They know 100% guarantee that there will be Muslims among them who will go jihad. So that's my point here about writing it, Muslim Roulette. And we can't tell. We can't tell the difference between them. And so here's a little preview of my Muhammad Cartoons Volume 1. Again, I have about a dozen copies left of this before it goes out of print. And then also Volume 2. If you guys want it, BoschFalson.com. Check it out, guys. It'll be out of print very, very soon. So let me continue 1 second, guys. Excuse me. Okay. Thanks for indulging me, guys. It just reminded me of that. It was so bad. It's like these savages. It's hilarious. I mean, so these thugs always elevate their language. And if lady says, LOL, that sounds like something average July would say. Absolutely true. He tries to quote unquote elevate his language and he can't. It's embarrassing. Never do that. Never, ever. I don't care. Look, I've read thousands of books without exaggeration. I've read all my life. I'm a voracious reader. Um, and I know a lot of words that I absolutely do not use and would not use. I don't try to, I want to get communication from me to you as quick as possible. I don't want to get in the way of that. I don't want to show off my intelligence. I don't want to do that. I can't stand that. I make fun of guys like people who go online. I have 150 IQ. It's like, and then I respond. I said, look, I would never, ever, ever brag about my IQ if it were that low. Ever. Okay. I get a kick out of that. But anyway, Alex Scott says, "Wow, the savages are writing in complete sentences now." Yeah, there have. If you look at the books, actually, you'll see. Of course, most of them are illiterate, like their illiterate prophet, who wrote the Quran as illiterature. That's what the Quran is, illiterature. Anyway, some actually can spell out, "I will kill you," with no grammatical errors. I'm like, thank you. Finally, finally. You didn't kill the English language. Finally. Um, Comic books in cahoots says any means necessary. What a bunch of scumbags. Yeah. Yep. Alex Scott says I absolutely love the myriad. Were you intending to write threats with broken English? It really shows how insanely stupid these people are. Yeah. Alpha Channel says power moves, bro. Never quit. Never surrender. Never. Alpha. Ever. Again, I've been offered a ton of money by these savages, and I believe that they meant it because in their mind, anyone can be bought because they can be bought. Anyone who can be bought thinks others can be bought. What happens is they hit a wall like, holy shit, not everyone's like me. Not everyone's a piece of shit like me. The fuck? Yeah, a myriad. Comic Books who says, thank God for the Second Amendment to protect the First Amendment. Yeah, look, man, we're lucky, man. We're lucky as Americans. The founding fathers understood life on Earth. They understood government. They understood freedom in a way that almost no leaders did, historically speaking. It's true. No other country has a First Amendment. No other country has a Second Amendment. That's a fact. I don't care what they try to talk about other countries. Oh, there were countries before. They had the Magna Carta. They say, yeah, they did. And we had the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence. We had a war for our freedom, the Revolutionary War. We had these revolutionary founders that were the greatest men, arguably, in history, the greatest group of men in history, the Avengers, the Justice League. I mean, we have such a heritage, guys, such a proud heritage. It's almost, when I think about it, it gets a little overwhelming, to be honest. Um, I'm going to engage with that at a certain point. I got this story in mind. I can't talk about it too much. I don't want to talk about it too much, but it's brewing. Let me just say that. It deals with our history, with the early days of this great, great country. No matter what has been done to this country, no matter the savages who claim to be Americans or anti-Americans like the left, it's still the greatest country in history of the world. It still is, and it can be greater. And that's why that's one of the great virtues of Donald Trump and Elon, talking about how they can't wait to make this country greater than it's ever been. It's a golden age of America. I love that language. It's an ideal that they're shooting for. You know, it's worth fighting for. All right, guys. So here we are. Let me go here. I think it pulled up here. Okay. Pull up, yo. Here we go. So, a heartless. Sorry. This is the church, the mission that Matt's at. He goes, a heartbeat can tell you a lot. Mine, for instance, has slowed down considerably in the past few hours, ever since the fever broke. It's a pleasure just to sit and listen to it. That's awesome. I love that. It's a wholesomeness about that Miller, doesn't get credit for. There's a real wholesomeness about that. Just a pleasure. It's a pleasure just to sit and listen to it. And then Maggie's fellow nurse, God has been merciful on that boy. She goes, God is just, sister. And then Matt says, in his mind, Maggie's heart is just to my right. It's in great shape. She's got a lot of years left. And the tension has gone out of her sweat. She carries the same scent she brought to my hospital room years ago. He recognized her as that woman who came to give him hope, to tell him that it's a gift, whatever happened to him with that radioactive isotope. She asks, "Are you hungry?" He goes, "Not yet, but I will be, thanks to you." He says, "It's a pleasant scent, so much like my own." Maggie says, "Give your thanks to the Lord." Matt says, "Maggie, are you my mother?" She's like, "Of course not, child." And Matt says, "A heartbeat can tell you a lot. Hers just jumped. She's lying." Man, that's fucking awesome. Great moment, great writing, great character. And this just gets better and better. This series, incredible. Thanks for being here, guys. I'm actually I'll leave this here. It'll be part 5, 6, 7. And we'll get there. In the meantime, I want to do my pitch. I'm a cartoonist who has a book out there being crowdfunded. Pigman #1. Just got a backer, I think, after my earlier show. I would really, really appreciate it, guys. I had a little problem with I showed this video yesterday, and I got a little hit on my channel, on my YouTube channel. It's not, thanks, Alpha. Appreciate it, man. I'm going to pitch my comic, guys. If you haven't gotten it, please consider getting it. Truly. I really want this to move. It's moving. It definitely is. I got 227 backers, $14,916. It raised in 21 days. Thanks, Mikey. Appreciate it, man. Thanks, Comic Books in Cahoots. Always appreciate it. Always appreciate you guys. I love this stuff. I love going through the comics that made me want to be a cartoonist, because that's what it is, really. Batman, Dark Knight Returns, Year One, Daredevil Born Again. These are the comics I think that just did it. However much I love comics as a kid and all that, I think it was these 3 in particular. That was it. Like, that's it, guys. And again, I always want to be a cartoonist. I always want to be, but I'm talking about writer, artist. I'm not talking about just drawing comics. These are the comics that told me, you know what? That's the model right there. Frank Miller, Will Eisner, these guys who completely did it all. They wrote, they drew. It wasn't until Sin City also that Frank Miller did it all. He wrote, penciled, inked, and lettered it. He did it all. The first time he lettered in Sin City, which is awesome. So yeah, guys, here's my comic book, Pigman. I remember Rich Johnston, that piece of shit from Bleeding Cool, who fancies himself a libertarian, he told me. I said, "You're a goddamn commie. What do you mean libertarian?" Anyway, he got excited about Pigman only when I was on a Daily Show in 2011. Grant Morrison stupidly made this storyline where Batman was franchising himself, his symbol, the bat, across the world. Really stupid. That's just drug talk. That's just Grant Morrison doing some extra drugs that week and saying, "Hey, that's a great idea." It's a dumb idea. Anyway, Batman franchised his persona to a guy in France called Night Runner. It's the French Batman, and he funds him, I guess. It's like, yeah, all right. Pretty stupid. And he's a Muslim. Night Runner's a Muslim. So I make this cartoon in reaction to it of Batman in the Batcave with Alfred, and overwhelmed because on the back on the screen is a shot of the Eiffel Tower, smoke and smoking ruins, right? And it's his French Batman who blew it up. And Alfred's like, Bruce. He calls him Bruce without respect. No more Master Bruce. No more, Master Wayne. He calls him Bruce because he lacks respect for him at the time. He goes, "You should have read this book before you franchised your guy, your persona to that guy." And he was mocking him. And Batman's there like, "I can't believe it." He goes, "Well, you better believe it." And then I got the Joker at the bottom of the page. He's basically flipping the page in the corner and laughing his ass off, saying, "Islam means peace." And somehow, some way, a producer at the Daily Show caught that. It was published on a publication, Newsreel blog, newsreel blog, an early 2010 blog by David Horowitz. I was doing work for, and then they contacted me, and I went there and I did it, and it was fun. A few hours shooting ended up being 3 minutes of screen time. Check it out. It's on my feed on. You can look it up on X, Bosch Foss and Daily Show. You should be able to find it. Um, it's fun. It's very fun. I forgot the point I was making, but the point was that about Pigman being out there for a while, and this is my chance. It's a rebirth of Pigman, really. My longtime character, trying to introduce him to Comicsgate. A lot of people haven't heard of me. I think people have. First time I went on Ethan's show, he says, "Your reputation precedes you." He knew of me over the years. I knew of him, clearly. I read, the comics. But there's been enough out there. Infamous, notorious. That's how I'm seeing. But anyway, I got 4 different covers, guys. Cover 1. Let me just read this also. Written, penciled, inked, lettered, colored, and published by Bosch Foss. 60 plus pages, could be 70, of a story that takes on the Islamic enemy and its leftist allies, and also some idiots on the right. This is a different kind of war comic: culture war, political war, philosophical war, media war, brothers at war, and war on the battlefield. Recovered Muslims versus born again Muslims. First cover has Pigman going off on the savages, breaking the guy's neck, punching that guy to death. This guy in yellow is running his ass off. Even the guys with the Kalashnikovs are shaking. And that guy's playing dead. It's a fun cover, man. And then you got this full take of Pigman there with Jihadist blood. I call it war paint. The main characters, Killian Duke, Salam Duka, twins, recovered Muslim, born again Muslim, and their echoes in the fictional part of the comic, Pigman, Super Jihad. Pigman making his vow to end jihad, and some kind of tombstone, towers, twin towers. And again, it's not by accident. Twin towers, twin brothers, twin stories, and so on. Hey, Jimmy. Hell. Thanks, man. And I have a nine-page preview. I have a new cover that I released last week. Pigman in all his glory. Bloody again. Just a side shot, a little different than the others. I want to make each cover very different than the other. Again, look at this, a full body shot. Well, as full as you can get there. A full face shot, profile of the main characters. This iconic image, something more of a dream type thing. There's no tombstone like that. Just something to visualize his vow. And then this. And you get an index card, Pigman index cards, hard index cards, where the black is black on the page. It does get absorbed like it does on the traditional index cards. This is a hard index cards. I love the way it looks. I got 5 covers. You can get all 5. Digital copies. You can get Pigman t-shirt, the symbol. And again, September 11th. September 11th. 2 dents there make it 9/11, also Flight 93, and the first attack on the Twin Towers in 1993, where 6 Americans were murdered by these savages. And their intent was to take down the towers side to side and kill 100,000 people. That was their goal. These guys got to be exterminated. They got to be wiped off the face of the fucking earth. And we didn't do the job after 9/11. We didn't do the job after that. That should have been the wake-up call that we should have known this. Our government didn't tell us, but they tried to kill 100,000 people that day. You make sure you wipe the fuckers out so they don't get a second chance, and they did. We gave them a second chance. Our government did. 8 years later. They did what they were threatening to do. They almost pulled it off also the first time. They just didn't have enough money to make a bigger bomb, these savages. You got the war paint print. You have I Want It All pack. You got the 5 covers, the index card, original drawing, the this card. I got the print and I got a t-shirt. And I have this card. It's fun. It's a little play on the Mission Impossible movies. Submission Impossible. And then Table for One, my first book. I was asked to add this to my campaign. I happily did so. I'm looking forward to having more copies on hand for anyone who might be interested, because once this campaign ends, I can have a nice backup of books on the side, sell them on my store. Sketch covers, original art, and then commissions. And you can check out the preview as well. I appreciate your time, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time and your patronage. I really, really appreciate it. I really do. Alpha says it looks awesome. I want a copy. Just a struggling ATM. I get it. I get it. Alpha channel. When you can, if you can. Flim Talk says purposefully. Not sure what you mean. Let me know. But I think I'm gonna get going, guys. I appreciate your time again. Always appreciate it, guys. You guys, it's just nicer to talk to people who are out there instead of nobody. I've been doing this now for I think 7 or 8 months regularly. I have a number of live streams now, over 100 videos, 110, 20. I don't even know what it is now. I'm doing mostly live streams. I like interacting with you guys. I think I'm going to get back to doing some of the tote books, but I'm a little worried that it won't be as good quality, audio-wise and visual. Thanks a lot, Flady. Much appreciated. Yes, Flip Talk, second chance attack. Purposefully meaning what? You mean our government say, come on, get us? That's just bullshit talk, man. I mean, it's just stupid talk, if that's what you mean. It's dumb talk. Our government's corrupt, and they are also incompetent rats. They would not allow an enemy to do that. And then say, for oil, we can take over anytime we want. I mean, if that was our purpose, we would be a bad country to begin with, if that's what you mean. If you don't, whatever. Jimmy says, cheers and happy weekend to the new guys. The Toth series is a must. Thank you, Jimmy. I got 19 episodes there. I just got to figure out a way to make it because again, I got this new mic. I got a new setup here. I figured out how to share screens. I'm getting a little better at this, even though I fucked up the old day. I had a half hour of goddamn echoing. It was ridiculous, guys. Ugh. Thanks, Mikey. Appreciate it, man. You're a great boss. Keep at it. Thank you very much. Yeah, I want to get back to the tote things. I just got to figure out a better way to do it with the audio and stuff because I want to keep the quality going. It's a slow thing here, guys, but I'm figuring it out. Thank you very much, guys. Always appreciate it. Have a great Friday. Until next time, be well. Enjoy. Take care.